I think it looks like an axe.
Well,
That's what it looks like.
you've seen probably sharp blade. You probably, well, not too sharp, but sharp. I bet this is something that they use. I don't know what this would be.
Just looks like an axe, like you would chop wood, but it is a little bit thin.
So it's either something that you use for battle, that you use to like make things. It looks like they probably made this by hand.
And people used to have to make the shingles that go on top of their house. This is called a fro, F-R-O. And they would take a piece of wood, and they would take a hammer, and they would hammer this down in that wood and split it. And you'd get a shingle that's about this wide, as much as wide as your wood is. And you'd make your wood so you could split that wood several times and get pieces about like that
For shingles on your house.
to roof your house, because now we have asbestos shingles or some sort of
Sometimes metal.
metal.
These are such unexpected things. How about when when it rains, does the wood get damp?
It does, and it swells up, and I'm sure you'd have some leaks, but wood tends to conform.
I bet they have to do it every once in a while, like every year or two, because it would get so damp and it would start disintegrating and rusting.
Well, they made them out. Generally, they made the shingles out of white oak, which is they figured out
tree.
What kind of tree to use to. It splits good and it is durable, and so they found the most durable thing that splits the best. And they would have to make
Is
every
this
one
white
by hand.
oak?
This
Was
is
it-
got a hickory handle.
Was it sharper than this when they first made it?
Probably.
They would have to stop and sharpen their tool, and that's why you'd need a blacksmith shop to heat it and file it and keep it sharp. So if it's important,
They probably used it so much that it was so hard to make that they just got thinner and thinner.
I would not like to be a blacksmith because I would feel like I'd burn myself or.
It's kind of hard work.
You'd have to be really good at it to make something.
Yeah, but you would make some money.
Yeah, you might.
'Cause
Well, think
you-
about this. You had to make your tools. Then
'Cause
you
they
had
had
to
to
cut the
do
tree.
Because they had to do so much, and they had to. And back then people didn't make as much stuff. You had to make it by hand. So this stuff was more hard to find.
Think if you were making the shingles to go on your
Like, you just
houses,
have to
how long
cut.
it would take.
You just have to cut a tree to get this, and just carve around it to get the perfect shape. And they would have. And now we just buy it at Lowe's.
You go buy it, or you go buy your shingles, and you'd have a nail gun that goes pow, 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 pow.
They had to build their hammers and probably build their nails.
They did. They sure did.
And so we use like 1,000 of nails just for a tiny project.
You think now if you had to make your nails,
It'd
how
probably,
careful you'd be with them. You'd never want to drop one, would you?
Yeah.
because they'd be made
But
of
now you can
steel.
just go buy them.
Used to, they were square. They were square nails. The first nails.
They go sharp edge.
Yeah. But that's called a fro,
That's very
handmade. And then when the pioneers came here, that's the tool they used to put the shingles on their log cabins.
cool. That is very, very cool.
It is cool.
So imagine somebody fixed this up, because you can tell that it's more shimmery, and then right here they didn't do it because it would ruin this part.
Well, I think it's been used a lot, and it's been worn, and you can,
Like held.
you can
And so I
tell.
bet they waxed it and then, or something.
They may have.
Just because you can feel it, and then this
See
is
the
the
difference.
the original wood. You can tell.
Also, yeah, it's probably worn down because you don't hold it like this.
You hold here in the oils from your hands, which is a good lesson because we all have oils in our hands.
The
And
man would probably have to be strong to hold all of that stuff, because I have to hold this with 2 hands, and they'd have to go stuff like that.
Yeah.
and you're going to be holding it the other way and
And
hammering.
and holding it over your shoulder and going. They'd probably throw out their arms.
So you're going to have to hammer this down in the tree. So you've got one hand with this,
And then
one
they'd
hand
have to
with
pull it out.
that makes me tired just to think about that.
How
I
much
don't know
work
how
they'd
they
have
get a
to
bit.
do.
That I bet a lot of people die from heat strokes.
And today they would, wouldn't they?
Thank you for watching the behind the scenes of the Museum Kids. I'm Rosie.
And I'm Olivia.
We're the Museum Kids.